What is good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Foxy. Welcome back to the Fox's Den. Getting into another reaction. It's a beautiful Monday. We're getting the new episode of Vinland Saga, episode 7. Very excited to see where this goes and see how much more we get into, like a little bit of like time skips, I guess. Because I knew there was going to be one eventually. I thought it was going to be just one big time skip when we get to like whenever they're done with the farm. Maybe that still is the case at some point. Like we get like a bigger one. But so far we've been getting like, you know, subtle time skips where like time moves along a little bit faster for Thorfinn and Einar, since this job that they're doing is going to take a long time. As we could see from the beginning of last episode, some time already had passed by because they started having a little bit of a scruff on their face of like facial hair. So you could tell some time had passed by, maybe a couple months or so, since first arriving there, getting some work done. And then they were, you know, the main goal of last episode was to get a horse because it makes their work so much more efficient in terms of getting the stumps out of the ground of the trees that they're cutting down. And then it allows them also to use a plow to be able to till the ground to get it ready for planting all the wheat and whatnot. So you have more crops to harvest whenever the time comes. And so that's whenever we get the other time skip. Right at the end of the episode, you can see they got like pretty much full goatees now on their beards. And so it's around fall season, as you can also tell by the trees, all the, you know, different colors of the trees. So it's definitely around autumn right now. And that's around, you know, when Einar was saying that's when we plant the seeds of wheat. Since he knows more about farming than Thorfinn. Thorfinn doesn't really know much, but he's learning a lot. As he said last episode, he's like, I feel like I learned a lot today. And then the like time skipped again, and then that's when they got to the fall. And so he's learning a lot through Einar. He's learning a lot through these interactions with other people on this farm ever since he came here. And it seems like he's gonna find some sort of purpose again, other than killing people and using weapons. Like he's taking an interest in farming. He's taking an interest in other technology other than weapons. Whenever he was looking at the plow, and just really amazed by the whole thing because like he, you know, Einar's already knows this and kind of already done this before since he lived on a farm. But Thorfinn, he's never really done this before. So once he saw the like field that they tilled, and it was, you know, it used to be trees, and now it's like literally ready for crops to grow wheat, which turns into your own food. So it really amazed him because he's never really done anything like that before. And it shows that, you know, Thorfinn has a chance to be a regular human being. You know, he's still like kind of lost in terms of like what purpose he needs or what he wants in his life. But it seems like he's gonna find it through Einar and like the other interactions that he has on this farm, and just learning through Einar and about farming and whatnot. And, you know, it's really cool to see because before this, you know, as he said, like he was very empty. He had a lot of PTSD, very, very traumatic life that he had through the Danes and traveling with them and Ashlad, and, you know, kind of becoming one and killing a lot of innocent people that he probably did not want to do at all. But his main goal was taking out Ashlad, avenging his father. And by doing that, like, while he was traveling through Ashlad, he was kind of raised by Ashlad in a sense, which is how it's crazy how ironic that is. But then again, he didn't get that chance to actually cut him down because he died beforehand. And, you know, that kind of sent him down a downward spiral of just emotion and trauma. And so he finally looks like he's having something good happen in his life, which is just, you know, living a decent life on this farm and learning how to farm on his own with Einar, and you know, hopefully being able to get all this job done and get the crops that they want to get, you know, done, and all the trees down that they want to get done, and then they'll be able to buy themselves back and buy their freedom back. Which at first, as we could saw last episode, Thorfinn didn't really seem to take too much of an interest in that. Like he didn't seem too motivated, whereas Einar, he's super motivated. Like the fact that he got this chance is lucky, and Einar knows that. And so he's very, very motivated to get his freedom back, and like he wants to get that done. And Thorfinn, he's just been kind of going with the flow. Like he doesn't really have a purpose or a goal, so he doesn't really see the point or have as much motivation as Einar. And that's how Einar got so frustrated last episode with him. I was like, why are you so unmotivated? Like how can this be? Like we have a chance to be free right here. Like why are you so unmotivated? But as you can see, Thorfinn's learning a lot, and thus I think it's going to increase his motivation to live in general. So I'm very excited to get into this, see where we get, and maybe we continue right where we left off from the end of last episode and see like the, you know, the rest of the, you know, planting of the wheat for the fall season, or maybe we jump around a little bit forward more. I don't know. But nonetheless, I'm very excited to get into it. If you guys enjoy the reaction, please leave a like down below, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next one's coming. Let's get into it, baby. Episode 7 of Season 2, Vinland Saga. Oh, it's actual like tracks of like thieves and stuff. Okay. Time to figure out who these thieves are, motherfucker. Why you stealing my shit? And then again, you never know if it's actually like some like people that we haven't met before, like actual thieves, or what if the thieves are somebody that's already on this farm? That'd be interesting if it was. I definitely don't think it's Einar or Thorfinn, but how much you want to bet like somebody tries to put the blame on them because they're slaves or some stupid shit? Like, I could see that happening, bro. Rise and shine, motherfucker, this morning. Ah, he's telling her about the dinner he had with him. I know. Blushing like a motherfucker. Ooh, okay. Thorfinn's actually looking out for other people's feelings now. Okay, they're getting along well. His man's is souped, bruh. I'm a good person. Oh shit, here we go. Yeah, we understand, you fucking hassle. From the thing, is it like the what the old master was talking about, where he sends King Canute a bunch of stuff? Oh my god, how that would be crazy. How, like, if Canute, what if Canute actually comes here? That'd be insane. Yep. He's ready to get to work, baby. Oh, damn. That's a good question, huh? She probably doesn't, if I had to guess. I mean, I don't know. She is directly under the master, which is who bought Einar and Thorfinn and gave him this proposal, so why wouldn't he do the same for her? But maybe it's different because she's not a farmer. Like, she's like basically like his attendant. Like, you know, does all the chores around the house. Like the lady was saying, getting after her, like, how dare you chit-chat while breakfast isn't ready yet? Like, you're supposed to make breakfast. Like, I don't know. It might be different for her. Yo, Einar geeks, bro. Okay, at least he's allowing him the choice, because he probably... Thorfinn is not really religious at all. I don't know if he really even believed in Valhalla like all the rest of the warriors did, because he was just kind of like a lone wolf, even though he was along with them, you know what I mean? This is so new for Thorfinn. Oh my god, this is hilarious. This is what I'm saying, bro. Einar is such a good thing for Thorfinn. This deer's looking at them like, these fucking humans are crazy. The fuck is their deal? This looks like the master, right?
Oh,
the master's behind this guy. Who's this? Oh, this is another son of his? Oh, so this is a son of his that actually went to work under Canute, I'm assuming. You're damn right. As we saw through his ascension to the fucking throne, bro, he has changed a lot. Yeah, Canute had a lot of protection because he was a prince, though. If he was just a run-of-the-mill soldier and, like, nobody, like, really cared about his protection as much, he'd probably be fucking rocked by now, if I had to guess. But you never know. They keep on saying the thing and not saying what it actually is. Wow, Snake trained KETIL's son, Thorgil. That's fucking cool as shit. Oh wow, they're just kids. I feel like KETIL has a good heart though. Like, think of a decent punishment instead of just like fucking reprimanding them. Like, I would assume the usual punishment in this time of age is fucking like cutting their hands off or some shit. Oh, okay, they're just locked up here. Or are they waiting to... I think that maybe they're already locked up like this. Maybe they're waiting for a decision to be made. Thorgils actually wants to like bring him along and see how he does because it might change him, but I'm pretty sure KETIL's right. I don't think... Look, you see, he's still so nervous about it. Like, I don't think he would actually be able to hold his own, bro. I don't think he'd last long. It's people's ears, bro. Oh my god. No, you do not want to eat that. See, bro, nah, he's not fucking suited for that type of shit, bro. But he's just fucking with him, of course, because he knows he's young. Older brother. Oh, really? KETIL was a beast himself, huh? He's never seen him like that. He seems like he's over that life, and that's why he started this farm in the first place. Kind of like Thorfinn, he wanted to like kind of like forget it and like move on. There's either people that like, I don't know, kind of like drown in the joys of battle, like Thorkel, like this guy, Thorgil. They really, really enjoy the fight. But then there's some people that are just kind of alongside in the war that are capable, but they get tired of it. Like Thorfinn's dad, Thorfinn himself, seems like KETIL. So yeah, they live on this land, correct? Interesting. Luna, really? Do you have to scratch that much right now, bro? Oh my god. Yes. And the kids, yeah, obviously the kids are want to try to hold on to the fact that he's alive. They don't want to believe that he's gone for good, you know? See, he's such a good person. Look at him. Look at him getting all emotional after this because he can already like understand their situation.
ちと目にゴミが入ってんな。あんなの名前が書いてあるんだってね。ほとんど脅しだそれは。いやいや、身に覚えがないならこれで吐かないでしょ。なら話は早い。腕一本だな。
One arm?
なら妹の分の罰。
So 2 arms for him. You lose both your arms according to his logic.
恐ろしい。わしの息子とは到底思えん。
Damn. He thinks of that of his son?
盗みに入ったりしたのだ。
Damn, this is crazy seeing the perspective of his like his thoughts on like being in charge of this place and like the pressure of making these decisions. He's like, yes, thank God someone else fucking speak up. Someone else put in some food for thought, please.
両腕を切り落としては使い物になりません。この子たちとその母親を奉公人として当農場に雇い入れることを提案いたします。仕事は旦那様が貸し与えた土地の耕作を奉公人として引き継がせます。
Okay. That is a much better proposition than fucking cutting off both of his arms or one arm of each of the kids.
回収できます。損害は回収せねばならん。果ては以上の理由から仕置きは棒打ちなどが妥当と思われます。いや盗んだ分は奉公で返済させる。
He doesn't want them to get beat at all. I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised Peter said that.
さすがに全く折檻なしというわけにはいきませんよ、旦那。
Well, at least you're getting an ass beating and not your arms cut off.
さて何回ですか？10回。
See,
10回ずつね。
he hates doing this, but like you can't lose face, especially since you're the fucking leader of this place and like the master. Like you can't. Yeah, this. You see, you got to answer to everybody else's expectations and whatnot.
玉とかはやめとけよ。オッケーオッケー。じゃあ軽くな。行くぜガキ。
Oh god, here we fucking go. Yeah, gentle. Gentle. Just fucking tossed him across the field, basically. Damn, he really wanted to take it on. It's gonna be even harder for him to do it himself, but he wants to at least give him some sort of mercy out of his own hand rather than his son. Like he said himself, he's horrified of his own son. Like he can't believe it's his own son. After him going to war and whatnot, and like really like living that life of a warrior. Yeah, bro, he's tired of that way of life, bro. That's why he came to this farm in the first place and started this whole thing. Oh, it's a lie to begin with. Oh, okay. Oh, so he's really like a coward like some humans are, bro. Like they're not like meant to be a warrior or, you know, fucking they don't want to hurt people. Wow. This is crazy character development for Ketil. Holy fuck. Oh, I thought he was laying on his wife's lap. He's laying on her lap. The what's her name? Starts with an A. But the slave that talks to Einar all the time, like they have like a good conversation every morning. Wow. That is crazy, and that answers that question. She like is here for good, pretty much, or like at least he wants her to be. There is no bargain for her to be able to buy herself back. That just answered that right there. Wow, bro. That was a wild episode. That was crazy, man. That was a good one. Holy shit. Alrighty, guys. What another amazing episode of Vinland Saga. That was a really good one, and kind of a different change of pace with some different characters that we get some light shed on more. And even meeting some new characters, too, including that being Ketil's oldest son, I'm assuming, Thorgil. So from the beginning of the episode, I think we pretty much got right back to where Thorfinn and Einar are doing their job and whatnot, but it's just like them like waking up in the morning like usual. Oh, well, no, right before the opening, I think, is when we saw Snake and the rest of his men. They were like tracking down tracks of thieves because, you know, someone had stolen something, and so they're trying to track them down and figure out who it is. And that's whenever the opening plays, and then we get into the rest of the episode. And so sure enough, they found out later that it was these two kids that, you know, live on this part of the land where their father is the one that is supposed to be paying Ketil rent or whatever every so often to live there, but he hasn't showed in a year. No one knows where he's at, and it's been a year. And obviously the kids want to believe that he's still alive, or, you know, he's not gone for good, because they're young and they, you know, they don't want to be doubtful. You know, they have a lot of hope, obviously. You know, very optimistic. Might not be able to face reality. Who knows if that's true, though? Maybe the father actually does come back at some point, but regardless, once we get back into the episode, we see Einar and Thorfinn, and they're doing their usual morning routine. They wash their face. Einar has a conversation with that other slave, the girl that works right under the master. And I can't remember her name right at this moment, but I know it starts with an A. Anyways, they're having a conversation, and they're really enjoying each other's like time together in the mornings, every morning. So much so that she looks forward to every morning to have a decent conversation with Einar. As Einar was talking to her, Thorfinn actually went ahead and like moved on. He's like, yo, I'm gonna go ahead, Einar. And Einar thought about it for a second. He's like, oh, is he actually being considerate? So you're starting to see like Thorfinn's actually starting to have like some feelings or emotions or just like awareness come back to him in terms of like human relationships and interactions. So I guess he could kind of feel the vibe for once that Einar he kind of likes this girl, or like they're having a one-on-one conversation, so he's gonna like, you know, head out ahead so he can give Einar a chance to continue to talk to her or whatever. But anyways, they finish up their conversation, and, you know, he's souped. He always enjoys talking to her. Obviously, he's very like starstruck by her, and that kind of like motivates him throughout the day, to be honest. And one of the reasons why he has so much motivation, right alongside knowing that he can buy back his freedom. So he has a lot of motivation every day. And as we see, they go off to go to their, you know, place where they work and cut down more trees and plant their crops and harvest or whatever. And they're starting to see the wheat kind of grow a little bit, but it's still very small. It's very green still. It's, you know, it's going to be a while before it fully grows. And so Thorfinn's kind of looking at it. He's like, wow, this is amazing. Like this turns into bread. And like Einar's like, yeah, it's pretty cool, right? And then Einar, dude, Einar's so funny. He started like praying, but like it was very exaggerated how he was praying. And he started telling Thorfinn like to join him, and Thorfinn's like, what? Like, because he's never done anything like that, and he probably feels kind of out of place, or like doesn't feel right about it, since he's like, you know, been a part of like the Vikings and like killed people and whatnot. But anyways, Einar makes him join him, and Thorfinn's like, who do I even pray to? And Einar's just like, anybody you want. Like, it could be anybody, everyone, every god there is. Like, just do it. Because he really wants the crops to grow and do well, so he's able to sell them, obviously, and then, you know, keep on stacking up and getting more land as they cut down trees and keep the process going. It might take years, but he's very motivated to get the shit done. So that's pretty much where we left off with Thorfinn and Einar. And then pretty much the rest of the episode, we got a little bit more of a look into Ketil's life and his family and his like household. While Einar and Thorfinn were heading to their work area, the slave girl, I can't remember her name. I might as well just look it up, bro. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, I knew it started with an A. Her name is Arnheid. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Arnheid. She went back to where she was supposed to go, like, you know, where the master's chambers are, that house or whatever. And I guess that's another one of the master's attendants, or I'm assuming the master's wife, because she called him honey later in the episode. So anyways, she goes back over there and she fucking gets slapped by Ketil's wife. I'm assuming that's Ketil's wife. because she's like, oh, how dare you have a, you know, chit-chat conversation in the morning when breakfast isn't even ready yet. And so obviously she's getting reprimanded, and she, you know, has like a pretty normal like slave life where they're constantly, I mean, KETIL seems like he's a pretty like chill person where he doesn't like taking violence out on somebody, or anyone for that matter, as we can tell throughout the later of this episode. So he this is why he has a kind of a nice heart and a good heart, and why he gave this opportunity to Thorfinn and Einar in the first place. But it seems Arnheid's situation is completely different, because she's right under KETIL, takes care of the family, does the chores, does, you know, prepares the food, all that bullshit. And then obviously everyone else around KETIL kind of has this like privileged lifestyle, not privileged, but like, I don't know, they like are used to this type of lifestyle. And so like the wife, you know, punishing the slave Arnheid, Omar wanting to be a warrior but kind of unsure of himself, kind of a coward, maybe actually like his father, but knows what's expected of him, either to be you're working on this farm or you're going to be a warrior. And so maybe he finally musters up the courage and goes, because then we finally meet as he's coming. They keep on calling it the thing, so they had some sort of meeting or something, and I'm not sure if it was the thing that the old master was talking about last episode, where KETIL like sends a bunch of supplies and food to the king, which is Canute now. I'm not sure if it was that, or if it was just some like, I don't know, every once in a while meeting or something, or what. But anyways, Thorgil and some of, I guess, his like companions or, you know, warrior mates come with him, and Thorgil, we learn, is KETIL's eldest son, and he's a full-bred fucking warrior. He's been at war for a while. You can just tell by looking at him. You can tell by his demeanor and his what's it called, his the way he views things. You know, you can tell like he's definitely a part of that warrior bred like troop. And so as they're sitting at dinner, or lunch, I guess, he's kind of messing with his younger brother Omar, because he knows he's a little bit of a nervous coward, and is thinking about, he's trying to convince him like, oh yeah, do you really want to be a warrior? Like, what do you say coming to England with me? Because the only reason why he thinks that is because he knows Canute, which is king now. And Canute was a completely different man whenever he was prince, and, you know, before he met Thorfinn, and then, you know, he eventually changed, and he's changed dramatically from that time to now, and then also through the couple of years that he ascended to the throne to be king. So he's matured a lot, and he's changed for the better. So he's thinking that his younger brother Omar can do the same, but that's kind of idealistic. I mean, maybe he can, like, maybe the battlefield really does change somebody, but also you don't know until you're in that moment. So it also could go the complete opposite direction, where he does go to war and to the battlefield, and he learns, yeah, this is not for me. And he either dies, he gets killed, or, you know, he just is in complete shock and doesn't accomplish anything. And that's kind of a disrespect or a disappointment, I guess, in the world of warriors. So he'd probably be shit on or something like that. And then again, also, like, the brother was explaining, like, you know, people, like, they're spoils of war, so that you plunder and shit after battles, and you're taking up women to sell, or to fucking rape, or to do this or do that, and men get in petty fights and kill each other over just that, which shouldn't even be existing at this point, but it's still, like, it's so customary, and it's been such a thing for so long that it's going to be hard to change, and it's going to take a lot of time. Even though Canute does want to put that in action, and he's trying his best to, it's hard to get everybody in line, like literally everybody. It's hard to do that. Maybe we'll see some more later this season of Canute, like, really putting some laws into action. Like, that'd be really interesting. I don't know if that would actually happen, but that'd be cool to see if he does, since he's actually king now. Or maybe he just starts fucking, you know, he just shows himself and just starts riding his horse across the country, like, everywhere, and, like, you know, sees multiple battlefields and see these people, and he just keeps going, yeah, behead them. They haven't gotten the message yet. You know, that could be the case, but I don't know. Anyways, he's teasing his younger brother Omar. He tells one of his companions to get his necklace for him as like a gift to Omar, but he's just fucking with him, because, like, he gave him the necklace, and Omar's like, what is this, jerky? Can I eat it? What the fuck is this? It's like, no, I don't suggest that, because ears don't taste that well. And then, like, it finally hits him, and he's like, oh my fucking god, he, like, freaks out, you know, like, classic teasing of an older brother to a younger brother. But that kind of goes to show, like, Omar, he's still, like, very nervous, like, kind of coward-like, you know, he's not, like, he's trying to convince himself that he wants to be a warrior, but I don't think he's got it in him. And you never, like I said, you don't know until he gets to the battlefield, and maybe he actually does get convinced by his brother, and he does go, and he like tries to convince himself. He's like, yo, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be a warrior. I'm gonna do this. And then he gets there, and he's just completely shocked by the actual reality, and can't keep up. But we'll just have to wait and see if that is actually the case. And then as we see, Thorgil talks a lot about his father as being this iron fist, and apparently a lot of other people talk about it like it's some sort of legend, like he was a crazy warrior, like fucking badass beast of a man. And really, it's not even true, which we learn at the end of the episode. But at first I was like, damn, okay, so this guy was a warrior too, so he must have just gotten sick of it, like Thorfinn, like Thor's. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's only so much killing and bloodshed and violence that you can take, at least for most people, I would feel like. I mean, it's like, doesn't that get tiresome? I mean, it's just sad. But some people, like Thorgil kind of reminds me of Thorkel, where they really embrace the violence, the bloodshed, the war, the battle, and they only live for that. And if they don't have that, they're fucking annoyed, and that's the only way of life that they know. Which again is kind of sad, but that's just like the way they are. And then there's other people that eventually get tired of it, and like Thorfinn, and like the PTSD or the trauma like really starts to set in for them, or just like the sadness or reality of it. Like this just sucks. Like, we're just killing each other day in and day out. But they're having their lunch, they're having conversations, and then finally Snake shows up with the two kids, who we find out are the thieves. And they stole like a bag of flour or some shit. So naturally they got to be punished. And KETIL can't not show face, because he's the leader of this place. He's the master of this place. He owns all this land. He has to set some sort of punishment, even though he doesn't want to do so. Because as we can tell, I love the character development for KETIL this episode, because it really shows that he's a kind-hearted person, and he doesn't like violence, and he doesn't want to be a part of it whatsoever. I mean, he's completely frightened and horrified by his own son, Thorgil, just because you could tell by the way he acts, like, or the way he speaks. Like, whenever they were talking about the punishment, he suggested, like, all right, it was theft, 1 arm each for each kid. And so, and then the older brother is obviously trying to protect his younger sister. And so, all right, if you take on her punishment too, then that's both your arms. It's like, all right, I'm just, what the fuck are you like? You're basically executing him at that point, which was a good point by Petar. I'm surprised that he started well, I wasn't surprised that he started speaking up, but the last thing he said, because obviously it's a better punishment than cutting their arms off. If they work for you and are able to, they are then able to feed themselves and take care of themselves, but they are also able to pay you back the money that you're owed, which their father is a no-show so far. So you at least be able to start getting your money paid back, because you're owed that, and then also what they made up for in the theft. So that makes like a perfect sense, right? I was like, okay, yeah, that's a perfect punishment. That's fine. Good shit, Petar. And then right at the end, he says, for those foreign actions, whatever he said, for those actions, I guess for just the theft in general, like a beating is good enough. I was like, damn, I'm surprised he ended it off with like that. Like I was just surprised that came out of Petar. I don't know why that just felt like so weird to me. And then even KETIL was surprised, like, no, the other punishment was fine, blah, blah, blah. But everyone was like, okay, well, there's got to be something. If you're not going to cut their arms off and go to the extreme, you got to have some sort of other punishment. Like, you can't just let them get away with it, because it teaches them a lesson and not do it again. Sets an example for anybody else that's trying to steal or thinking about stealing. So obviously you can't just get away with whatever you want. But then again, I think there's better ways other than literally fucking that, like just getting your ass beat. Maybe like a little like spanking or something, or if you're trying to discipline your kid, or something like that. I believe mainly in like raising your voice. Like that's really the only way I discipline my dog. Because she knows better whenever she starts getting into things. Because she's a puppy. She's teething. She's getting into everything. She likes to chew on things. So sometimes when she's misbehaving, like she likes to get in my dad's plants, for example. Like it's winter right now, so we got the plants in the house. She likes to get in the plants. And she doesn't when we're here or when we're around. And she's just chilling right here behind me, I think. Yeah, she's been playing and chewing on her bone. But she knows like when we're like not paying attention, and she can like get away with something. Like she's very smart. And so if I'm like hearing a noise where I think she's getting into something, I go out there and I see her, getting into something, or she hears me coming out, she immediately like kind of like puts her head down or like goes into her cage. Like, I didn't do nothing. I'm a good girl. It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, you know what you're doing. But yeah, nah, that's the only thing I do. Like, that's the only thing I really believe in is like, you should only have to like raise your voice and, you know, maybe like a little tap or something, or, you know, along the lines of that, but not like literally just beating the shit out of the fucking kids, bro. Like, that is, I don't know, different time. But anyways, he has to go through with it because he can't lose face. He is the leader of this place. He's the master of this place. The snake has expectations. His son Thorgil has expectations. His wife has expectations for this punishment. I mean, he can't really go against everyone else. And even Petar, he's the one that recommended the beating. So he was the only one that really didn't want to harm these children because he has such a fear, I guess, of violence and just doesn't want violence. But he has to go through with it anyway because everyone else's expectations and, you know, they have to be punished. So be it. So it was supposed to be 10 strokes of the stick beating for each of them, but it ended up being 20 for the brother because he took on his sister's punishment. And Thorgil, you know, started the first stroke, and Snake was like, go easy on him, you know, blah, 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 don't hit the head. And he's like, okay. And he fucking whacks the shit out of this kid right in the gut or the torso. Basically sent him like a good like 5 feet like up in the air or some shit. And immediately Ketil gets up and he's like, oh my god. Okay, let me do it. Because he doesn't even want to do it, but he doesn't, like, he knows his son Thorgil he's that type of person since he's a warrior. He, like I said, he embraces the violence, he embraces the war, the battle. So he's embracing this moment where he's being sarcastic, like, yeah, okay, I'll be easy on them, but no, he's not. He enjoys this shit. He enjoys seeing somebody in pain. He enjoys giving somebody pain. He enjoys being in pain, probably in war. So he's not gonna hold back, as you could tell by the first stroke. So there he goes. Ketil takes over, and you know, the beating is done. And he didn't want to do that, and he was very ashamed of himself. And you know, just as we can tell towards the end of the episode, you know, everybody else is enjoying their fun, and you know, everybody else is having a good time, and like, don't think anything of that situation. Like, it's not even in their heads anymore. But Ketil, he's still thinking about that, and still like kind of like traumatized by it because he's such a good-hearted person, and just like kind of traumatized by that fact that he has to like beat up some kids, you know, because they're thieves. And also kind of like, I think he said at one point, like, oh, why'd you have to steal from me? Like, I don't want to punish you, like this and that. Like, he's really a nice person, but that's seen as like a coward in that time. And as you can see, he's like weeping to the slave Arnheed, which is his like attendant in the house. And it seems like he's always like kind of like consoling, or she's always consoling him, and he's always kind of like opening up to her. And that's where we learned that the Iron Fist story about him, like the legend, it's a lie. Like, he never was a warrior. Like, he never really liked to be like that. He's always been a kind-hearted person, and he never really liked violence. And so, but that's not acceptable as a Nordic man. That's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. So it's really tough for him. I mean, that's crazy character development for Ketil for this episode. And I enjoyed every second of it. That was crazy. And as we can see through their conversation, as Arnheed was consoling Ketil, and he was kind of opening up to her at the end, like, you know, this is a lie. Like, you know, I'm a coward. Like, but that's not acceptable in like the way of Nordic men. And he was kind of saying, like, you're the only one that understands me, or like, you're the only one that like saves me from this darkness, so to speak. And he basically said, like, you know, never leave me, like, always stay like right here. So that basically gives us the answer to what Einar was questioning earlier in the episode, like, does Arnheed have a deal like us where she can buy back her own freedom? From right there, I don't think so, because Ketil is too attached to her, even though she's treated like an actual slave by the rest of the fucking household. Ketil, I guess, you know, sees special, or gives her special treatment because like he relates, or not relates, but like she's able to console him, and you know, he like opens up to her. So like, he has a soft spot for her, or a soft spot for humans in general. Like I said, he's a kind-hearted person. But with her case specifically, it seems like, you know, he wants her to stick around. So I don't think she has a deal like that. So that's going to be kind of a hard thing to get over for Einar. Or if the case comes, I mean, maybe they say fuck it, and you know, some push comes to shove and they get their own freedom back by fucking just getting the fuck or something. But I mean, he's tried to escape before and that did not work, even whenever he was in the slave market. So I think he actually does want to try and actually buy his freedom back. So maybe he tries to convince KETIL later on, like, hey, like, give her a deal similar to that. Like, I'm really fond of her. So I don't fucking know. But then again, that's going to create like kind of a weird argument or conversation because KETIL is also very fond of her, as we can see. I mean, he's literally like kind of like weeping in her lap in bed. So I don't know, bro. That was a crazy episode. That was like not like crazy action packed, but in terms of the character development for KETIL and like kind of seeing the ins and outs of his family and the way his mind works and how much he doesn't like violence, that was a great episode. That was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and learning more about KETIL as a whole, that was really cool to see. Amazing episode of Vinland Saga. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. If you guys did, please leave a like down below, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when the next one's coming. I'll see you on the next one. Y'all be good. Deuces.